Stiff truth.
All right, welcome to the Stiff Truth. I'm Scott Casanova. We are stiff today, and with me, as always, looking very sexy, looking very groomed today, Mr. Bob West. How the hell are you, sir? How you doing?
I may or may have not. I can neither confirm nor deny that I possibly could have ran a comb through the hair.
It looks like you did. You look fabulous today, Bob, and I am super stoked to talk to you. We've got. Well, I guess we have some things to talk about today that are just everywhere out there in the world. A lot of goings on. Would you say that we're talking about two very viral topics today? That would make sense, right?
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah.
In fact, if we look at like the top Twitter trending topics, let's see, Twitter trends. You're looking at it live. We're going to the trends, the twins.
Oh my God.
Twitter trends.
Oh God. Tell me. Come on, the suspense is killing me. What is it? Shit in bed shit. Amber Turd. Is that what it says? Amber Turds on Johnny, and Elon Twitters his butthole. Is that about right?
Well, there's some Elon. There's Naomi Judd because she died yesterday.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And
R.I.P.
And also there's Elon. There's Twitter itself on the Twitter trends.
Good stuff here. Well, I mean, before we get into some really fun topics today that everybody's probably just talking about, what the hell are we drinking today? That's really what's important here, Bob. What do we got?
Well, we are endeavoring on a couple of leisure suits.
Ooh. And I'll tell you what, here, cheers to you, buddy. Look at that. That is a nice. Now, you know what? I can't tell if it's the lighting in your office or not, or is yours not so red? Is it got a little bit?
Let me change the lighting.
Oh, okay. I feel mine's a little bit deeper here. Now, I'm not sure how much you got of each of the juices in here, but kids, just in case you want to get back here and mix one of these bad boys up, I do suggest it here. It's not super stiff, but it's a cocktail. It's definitely not like, like a pussy cocktail or anything like that. It's got some balls to it, but it is got banana liqueur. We got 99 bananas in there, so 99 proof. That's no punk bitch right there.
Which is the only liqueur to use for 99 bananas. It really is
100%. And then we got Galliano in there. There's equal parts of each, just 1 ounce a piece. And then you're supposed to do 3 equal parts of 3 juices: orange juice, pineapple juice, and cranberry juice.
And that's probably where our colors differ for the amount of the other juices that we used. So what I did was I doubled up because anticipation. I made 2. So I doubled it up. So I went with 2 ounces of banana liqueur and 2 ounces of Galliano. But then I went also with 2 ounces of cranberry juice, 2 ounces of orange juice, and 2 ounces of pineapple juice. So I went 1-2 on the liquor to mixer ratio there. How did you ratio yours out?
Interesting. See, I did mine in a highball glass here. So did you. And the way I did it is I didn't make double. I didn't plan ahead today. And I'm probably going to be paying for this in, say, about 10 minutes or so.
When you're grabbing a beer.
Yeah, when I'm like, Bob, I'll be right back. Got to take a quick pause here. Daddy needs to get his drink on. But no, what I did is I did 1 ounce of each. And then I tried, just with the ice filled all the way up, I tried to do equal parts just to fill up this glass. So I went with 1 ounce, and then I saw there was still room left in there. So I did 1/2 ounce of each. So I ended up doing a shot, 1.5 ounces of each of the juices. So
that's what I did.
Yeah, I mean, it's similar. It's similar. You got 1 ounce to 2 ounces. I got 1 ounce to 1.5.
I went 1 ounce to 1.5 ounces is what I did, and that's what you did.
Yeah, so we kind of did the same thing.
So now, maybe we just have different cranberry juice.
I'm glad you hit on that. It's almost like we had planned this, but we didn't talk prior to this. This is what I wanted to bring up. I have this issue. When I went to get the cranberry juice yesterday, I nearly called you, Bob, to see what kind of cranberry juice you got, because
as we often do.
Yeah. I literally was standing there in the juice aisle at the grocery store, and I'm like, okay, pineapple juice, boom. Already got orange juice at the house. And then I was like, cranberry juice. And then I'm looking at the ocean spray. I don't want the cocktail shit. You know what I mean?
No, it didn't say cocktail.
Yeah. But I was going to go for the ocean spray, 100% juice cranberry. But course, like a really anal person that I can be sometime and very finicky, I grab it and I'm like, wait a minute. This is not just cranberry juice. This is a cranberry juice blend. And it had like white grape juice, cranberry, raspberry, something else. I'm like, no. And literally, I couldn't find, like on the cheaper ones, anything that's just 100% cranberry juice. And still I get it. And still I started to go down the aisle to like the organic and like the other ones. So I ended up getting like some high end, straight up 100% like cranberry only as the ingredient. But it took me a solid, I'm not going to lie, dude. I was standing at the cranberry, cran raspberry, that little area of the juice aisle for a solid 10 to 15 minutes before I decided to make my actual purchase. And when I got this juice, Jamie's like, oh shit, you got cranberry juice. We're making Cape Cods. I was like, whoa, easy on my cranberry juice. That's some organic shit. Wasn't cheap. So let's just, let's just be conservative with the cranberry juice. But this is probably a pretty vitamin loaded cranberry juice opposed to your regular guy. And you know what? I have to admit, prior to this, I usually got that fucking 100% juice because I didn't want to go that route. But I usually went with the cranberry. And if you look real, it says juice blend at the bottom. And I was like, aha, I don't want that. I want this as Mother Nature intended it. But I have a feeling that maybe the guy with the bartender book probably just grabbed whatever the fuck he had on file that said cranberry and just went with it. So maybe I was being a little too Nazi-ish about it.
Well, I'm not going to lie. I phoned it in a little. I was at Total getting some re-upping, right? I was hitting my dealer to re-up. That dealer is Total Wine. And so I'm buying some stuff and some of the booze we need for this drink. And I just went ahead and got the little pineapple 6-packs that they have there. And then I got the Langer's cocktail or cranberry, whatever the fuck. I don't even know if it's cocktail or juice. I don't know. I didn't even read it. I just grabbed it. I was like, cranberry. I was like, whatever. It's for the bar.
I feel I was overthinking it. I think that's what I did. and literally in my 10 to 15 minutes of just decision-making turmoil at the store, I knew about 5 minutes in, I was like, I'm making way too big of a deal about this fucking cranberry juice, dude. But you know what? At the end of the day, I felt good leaving. And of course, here's the other thing I was doing. Hey, the 100% cranberry juice, way less sugar and carbs than the juice blends and everything like that. So
good looking out there.
Hey, I'm probably, as I drink excessive amounts of alcohol today, I'm gonna feel really, my UT track is gonna be cleansed and clean, no burning when I'm peeing. You know what I mean? And that's what it's all about, Bobby. But seriously though, as I take more drinks of this fine little drink here, this is I will say this I could see as a panty dropper. You know what I mean? I could see yourself mixing these bad boys up and saying, hey, let's just have some more of these. There's no aftertaste here. There's no bad aftertaste. In fact, I'm gonna just step outside of myself for a minute here. I enjoy the banana aftertaste with this drink, the way the juices are kind of just blending together. It's quite nice. And I can barely taste any booze.
It's funny that you say that, because I'm always reluctant when I'm mixing in 99 bananas. Like it's not going to end well, right? But this time it really did. And the way that it blends together is very interesting. I really like this drink from a scientific standpoint, right? Because there's just so many flavors there that we're cramming into one glass, So I mean, you have all the juices, and that's cool. But then Galliano is a robust, unique flavor, and to add that in with a banana liqueur, also a very pungent, strong liqueur, right? So it's going to overpower pretty much everything. But when you combine them all together, you can't really put your finger on anything that's overpowering on this drink. And I think that's part of its charm. I made one and I let Jess try, and she is not a Galliano fan. She doesn't like licorice. She doesn't like that type of flavor at all. So she doesn't like Jaeger or Benedictine or anything in that realm, right?
Yeah, sure.
But with this, she said that was really good. So when I'm done with the show, I'm probably going to go whip up another one for me and one for her as well. And that's pretty interesting, considering that I like Galliano shit by itself. But
yeah,
But I don't know. This drink was really cool to make, really cool to taste for the first time. Again, shake it, fellas and ladies and gentlemen, shake it because you need that little bit of foam at the top. That little bit of foam.
Interesting that you say that too. I did not shake this one, and you know what? I almost didn't stir it because I read the recipe again and again. Here's me being.
It doesn't say to.
Yeah, yeah. I was being very by the book, and you know what's interesting? You probably saw this too. Maybe or maybe just dumped it right in the shaker. But I filled up this with ice all the way to the top, put the Galliano, the banana liqueur. I put the juices in there, and it was really cool. It was like multicolored. At the bottom was like yellowish and gold, and then there was like the different fruit juices kind of blending together that made this almost like psychedelic looking shit. But I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I was like, I got to do something with this. If I don't, I need a straw to drink the booze at the bottom first, or I'm just going to have the fruit juice at the top. This doesn't make any sense. So I got the bar spoon and it was all. I was like, all right, that'll do. And I was even a little bit depressed when I kind of like muddled, so to speak, the awesome little colors that were in there. But maybe that's how you're supposed to have it. I couldn't find a picture on the internet because I actually wanted to spot check it. I was like, is this supposed to be like a presentation pretty type drink? I don't know.
It's funny that you mentioned that because I was just looking for a picture to put it up to show everyone, and I could not find a picture of
this. This is what we call a B-side drink. You know what I mean? It's a secret track, so to speak. It's not something that's mass produced. But hey, you know what? That's how we do here at the Stiff Truth. And honestly, bro, when we looked at this drink, let's just tell it like it is here. A little peek behind the amazing curtain of our creativity, so to speak. This is 2 drinks up from the lemon drop martini. So when we were looking at the lemon drop martini last week, I was all, oh my God, leisure soup. That's so fucking awesome. And I think the name got me first. And then looking, like you said, looking at the combination of all the flavors, like, oh, something just gets me fucking super charged up when I see like some cool boozes, one I love in there, and then mixing 3 fruit juices together. You know, that you again kind of got that mad scientist kind of creative scratch, so to speak, that I just got tickled.
Plus, if y'all have never seen the bartender book, 11th edition, 10th edition, sorry, it's 10th edition is the one.
You want that new one to come
out. I do.
Soon,
I really do. The 10th edition is where we're at right now. And if you've never seen a look at the bartender book, it's pretty amazing. You can flip up to any page of the bartender book, literally, and start making drinks there. And just on a single page, a random page, you can find a dozen drinks that you're interested to make. You know, and at this point of the robustness of our bar and the diversity of the alcohol that we hold in our house, we could pretty much go to any page and make the majority of the drinks on that page with what we have in house. And that's pretty special.
It is. It's fun. I'll tell you what, though, you're right. It's been a while since we've made a bad drink. I don't have amazing short-term recall, but do you remember the one that we made that we're just like, fuck this is not going to happen again?
Oh man, it was like a month ago. I'm gonna have to drop in.
And I just got to tell the stiffies here, we're going to continue to have bad drinks because me and Bob, we have to fail forward. We have to learn what not to have to succeed in this crazy bartending just world that we've thrown ourselves in, because we're having a good time with it. But we've done a good job just by randomly kind of finding stuff. And yes, of course, you can kind of figure out somewhat what it's going to taste like prior to, based off the ingredients, but sometimes not so much. And I can't remember what we put together, whether we were, I don't know if we were pushing a theme. Were we pushing a theme and thought the name sounded cool? I can't even remember. Come on, drop it on us, Bob.
Was it the slow ball?
Yeah, that tasted like shit.
I think it was the slow ball that was terrible.
That's probably what it was. I think
because the rest, a slow, comfortable screw against the wall. That was good.
That was a dandy right there.
Right. And then we the glass tower, the clear drink in the highball glass with lemon. That was cool. So that one wasn't it. The only one I can think, the slap and tickle, was great.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. And I'm also the bend me over. That's a new classic at my house. It's always been great, but even more so now.
Yeah, I was just about to say, come on. That's a part of the morning routine.
The red pill, blue pill shots, those were good.
Those are pretty good.
It's got to be it. The slow ball, because the radioactive iced tea was good. I'm pretty much recapping every drink. The go-go juice is pretty good.
We've done a lot of really cool drinks. I'm going to go ahead and just pat ourselves on the back here. not gonna be very humble about this one. You know, it's funny. I've talked to people about the show, and that's one of the things that people do like about the show. So I'm happy that we've been able to bring that to the table here. Is we've got some great diversity of some quite unique cocktails. Because you remember, hey, let's just face it, season 1. In the infancy of the show here, we were busting out. Geez, I think like one of our first drinks was like a fucking Jack and Coke, you know, Bloody Mary. We even did Scotch on the rocks.
Remember when we were afraid of running out of drinks to do? That was dumb. we're so naive.
silly fools. But hey, enjoy your guy here, the leisure suit. I'll tell you what. Man, I haven't made one of these for Jamie yet. Her and Elizabeth are out right now. They're actually doing a picnic right now out in the park. But when they get back, I'm gonna line one up for her.
Man, I would do the solid of pausing the show just to make another one, and then we'll movie magic it on with a new drink. I'll do that for you.
Okay. Well, we might be able to get started on one topic here. I still got a little bit left. You know what I mean? And I don't want to break the seal quite yet, but I will. I probably will.
No.
That's true.
They'll never know, except for the fact that I'm telling them.
Okay. Well, that's okay. We'll do that soon. I'll give you a not so subtle indication when I'm ready for another cocktail. But Bob, let's jump into some fun conversation. I think first and foremost here, I got to update everybody on something really exciting I did earlier this week. Guys, it is now. Oh God, today is May. Today's May 1st.
It is now May.
We are officially really in springtime. It's windy as balls down in New Mexico right now, and kind of the same up here. But it's been over 2 years since I've seen live music, especially live music that I really appreciate. And it's funny because
I love the qualifier.
Yeah, especially, yeah, you got to do that. But this is very special to me because I do recall it's right when we actually started doing the show. I think we just had published the first show when I was on this trip. But in 2020, in February, me and my brother went to San Francisco and we went and saw Mr. Bungle. This was literally right before they declared it a pandemic. I mean, literally, some people were starting to wear face masks already, but I was laughing at them. Can you imagine that? Laughing at people for wearing face masks? Like it was just like a stupid thing. Anyways, I bought tickets to Deftones Gojira. At that time, Poppy was the opener. And then, of course, because of COVID, that show was rescheduled in 2020 to 2021 and 2021 to 2022. It finally happened on Monday of last week. Went down to the Ball Arena. It used to be the Pepsi Center. And my God, Bob, there's probably a lot building up for Deftones and Gojira because they hadn't been doing shit for the past couple of years either when it comes to performances. So I think there were like 4 or 5 shows in but by the time they got to Denver, because they hit like a little bit of the West Coast first. But it was so goddamn amazing, dude. It was fantastic. I did not see the very opening band. I was actually next door at a bar drinking Guinness, to prime the pump before I went to the show.
Not $15 Guinnesses.
No.
Like
they were
regular price Guinnesses.
Yeah, they were like $5 Guinnesses or what.
That's smart. I like your business savvy there.
Yeah. Just pounding some Guinnesses, getting fired up for the show. But my God, the lights, dude, the people wall to wall everywhere. Nobody wearing any kind of mask. And why? You're at a show, it's hot, it's whatever. But everybody getting all kinds of mad merch, beers, just headbanging, just having a great time. I saw some kids there, probably some of these kids' first shows. It was just fun. And Gojira, well, they just slammed it out of the park with just aggressive, crazy double bass madness. And then Deftones got in there, did an amazing set. Saw some stuff that they haven't done since the early 2000s live, and it was magical, Bob. I got a lot of it, which this is the one thing that I need to stop myself from. I've noticed this the past few times I've went to shows. I find myself when I really get excited about what they're playing, I pull out my phone, I start recording it. And then I'm focusing on recording a portion of the song instead of just enjoying the music in the moment. And that's where I need to check myself. Because honestly, you don't really go back and listen to that shit on your phone very much. It's not very good quality. You know what I mean? But anyways.
Well, plus it's going to be on YouTube, right? So I agree with that sentiment. Just stay in the moment on that one. Yeah. Lesson learned.
Gotta let it go. I mean, I still had fun. I mean, I got so fucking excited about a few songs. You can hear me yelling stuff about the song to Jamie while I'm trying to record it too. It was pretty impressive. But it was fun, bro. I wish you could have went to the Albuquerque one. I know that was, what was it, Thursday night?
Yeah, I was gonna say it was like 3 or 4 days ago. I didn't. And that's on me. I've just I haven't even tried to plan it. when I saw that it was coming up and with school and everything, and I got a lot going on at work, I didn't bother to add that onto my plate, and I probably should have, but it
It's
is what
okay.
it is.
We don't hold anything against you, Bob. We know how it goes. But hey, soon enough. And now I'm on the prowl. Just so you know, since the show, I've been kind of just energized with live music and searching for it. And I've been looking on Songkick, an app on my phone. It kind of just searches all the music and stuff in your area for the whole season. There's a lot of good shit coming up, bro. A lot of good shit coming up. So don't be surprised, Bob, if I ring your bell a few times here in the next few weeks about shows we should get tickets for the fall or something like that, because it's probably going to happen. And you're gonna have to go.
Yeah,
So
and that's okay. It probably needs to happen.
yeah, I agree. So, anyways, live music. Woo!
Well, I'm glad that you got to get a little slice of normal pie there. It's been a while since any of us have been able to like do something normal. Even last week at work, I played basketball with the fellas because we have a gym at work, and it's just because I wanted a little piece of normal. Right. It felt like old. We haven't done it in a couple of years because pandemic is first time we started kicking it up again. And it was just nice to get a little bit of normal. So I bet you, I'm assuming for you that there was a lot of that going on for the show. How was that like a little bit of back to normal feeling?
It was fantastic. I mean, literally everything about the show that was just felt good was stuff that we've been restricted from doing for the past couple of years. If you really think about it, even being in close proximity to other people without wearing your hazmat suit.
Sure.
And obviously I'm exaggerating,
or
course,
condom.
but right. Yeah, no, it was great. It was simply great just to have that. I hope we can continue going that way. I don't want to jinx us here, but it seems like, again, not to jinx us or anything like that, we're still in an area where the coronavirus is going to be, probably going to be around forever, but I think now we're in a manageable type phase. You know what I mean? We know what to do, and I like that, because that does allow us to get back to a certain amount of normal in the grand landscape of things, which is great.
Well, I'm glad you had a good time. I'm glad you got to go to that. I know you've been waiting for a long time to actually get to it.
Dude, it was a slow burn, baby. I'll tell you that.
I'm sure.
Getting
how is their bass player?
You know what? He was okay. He was pretty good. I mean, I didn't notice anything glaring where I was like, okay, this guy's only been with the band for like 10 days. This is, kind of a piece of shit. And there was also, I still don't know who this guy is. There was a mystery other guitarist that was kind of in the background there. That was
just like some strange, just on stage jamming out.
Yeah, he's been there the whole tour. I mean, Chino got out his guitar and did his stuff for certain songs, but it almost seemed like he wanted to like run around and be like a showman a little bit more for this tour. Maybe just haven't been out there doing it for a long time. So I'm chalking up to maybe that's what it is. But you know what it kind of reminded me of? A little bit of like, back in the day when Nirvana was supposed to always be a three-piece. Like Kurt Cobain played guitar, Chris Novosek was the bass player, Dave Grohl drums. But then all of a sudden on Unplugged, Pat Schmier is sitting there playing the fucking guitar, and then he's like a kind of quasi standing member of the band as well, but not like when you talk about them in like the grand, he's
a filler.
Yeah, but he's a filler that has like a solid position depending on who you're talking to and when you're talking to him. It's kind of interesting. So I was like, is this going to be a new thing now? Are they going to have this like anonymous like new guitar player that kind of just comes in when like somebody's not feeling like playing a lot or something like that? Or is it just what they're going for? I don't know.
Honestly, from a musical standpoint, I could see a lead singer that plays and sings, getting that stand-in or filler just to be backup, or to do it when they're not feeling it or whatever, so that they could focus more on singing and keep the quality and everything good. That's a smart thing, I think, to have someone there to be able to handle that load, because you don't want to fuck up the lyrics, but none of that matters if the guitar sucks. So I get it. So I mean, if you're there doing both, I could see. I'm surprised like it never went down that I know of with Metallica, because James did so much guitar while he was singing, and I'm surprised he never like just wasn't feeling it or wanted to focus on the music.
Yeah, I've got a hard time, even though I've got my issues with Metallica modernly, I got a hard time like not saying that James is like the one of the top two. I say him and Scott Ian are like the best rhythm metal guitar players out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And he
to
sings.
do that shit while you sing, it's man, he's a pretty amazing dude.
Yeah, kudos to him. Kudos to him. And what's interesting about Deftones too with the new guitars, I'm just surprised that they waited till like their ninth studio album to bring in another guy. But they're also pushing 50. You know what I mean? So maybe his pipes aren't quite what they used to be, and he needs to put a little bit more attention on his singing to like make sure the quality's there versus the guitar playing. So I mean, that kind of all makes sense.
Well, one thing for sure for the Deftones, at least for Chino during the pandemic, is he didn't stop at all. He didn't slow down at all. Just all kinds of collaborations and music just kept coming out with his name on it.
Mm-hmm.
So good for him. I'm glad they're back doing their thing. I'm glad they got a good fill-in for their bass player. I'm sorry I missed the show, but I'm glad that you got to go because I know that's a special thing for you.
It's fun. It's fun. But I'll tell you what, Bob. We're gonna have to get this real quick.
And we're back. All right.
Yeah.
Look at that movie magic.
Isn't that nice?
That's a fantastic thing.
I went ahead and did the shaker this time. You can see the frothiness at the top. It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, and then I took the opportunity.
Oh, look at you re-up. And well, we got to stay stiff here on the stiff truth. You know what I mean? We don't want to like knock down the integrity of the show. So I'm really proud of both of us again.
We do. And you know what? I've done all my dad duties for the day. I've done all my homework that's due. I did landscaping today. So I've done all that.
Are you saying now it's time to get shitty?
I don't know about shitty. Maybe a little.
Maybe just a touch. Well, you're speaking about getting shitty. Maybe not on somebody's bed.
I see what you did there. That was that's clap worthy.
I appreciate it. Let's jump into well, both of our backgrounds now pertain to this lovely talk here. And I'll tell you what, bro. The Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, both of them aren't going to be coming back from this one in the sense that their reputations and their just their reputation and all kinds of it's tarnished. But have you been following this, Bob? Have you been watching any of it? Or have you been trying to just stay away from it? I mean, what's going on?
Yeah, I follow it. I'm not obsessive about it, but I mean, it's pretty much on every news feed. At the top of the page somewhere. So, I mean, you can't help but see it and kind of stay into it. But then Jess will show me like TikToks and little clips from some of the trial. And it's been pretty incredible. Amber Heard is not the first manipulative sociopath to be abusive and manipulative to a person. But I'm glad that it's getting out there because I think that it's a great thing for my son to see just like how deep it can go and how bad it can get if you don't look out for who you're getting involved with, right? I mean, we know that Johnny Depp has had his problems. He's an addict. We know he struggled with that his whole life. That's been no secret. But to this level of mental illness and depravity of what's going on here, I think it's been a positive thing for everyone to see that because I think there's some people out there that have never experienced it that think it doesn't exist, like not to this level. I know that it exists to this level. I've had some personal interactions and experience with this exact kind of behavior. And which is to my point, or to your point, which is probably why you ask if I've been following this, because you know my life.
I do
more than most, and so I get it. But I feel for Johnny Depp. There's something to be said that the hot to crazy ratio. Obviously he got with Amber Heard thinking, "Oh, this smoke show. She's like 15 years younger than me. This is great." And when he realized that she was fucking crazy, he needed to pull the cord on that. But for some reason, his ego of the young hot thing wouldn't let it go.
Well, and what's interesting too, I've heard both cases for it. Some people like, oh, Johnny Depp is a piece of shit. Look at all the crap. Like you were just saying too, is anybody surprised that there's stories of Johnny Depp like throwing up on himself, drunk, like doing coke? This is not a surprise. I mean, dude, the guy is a movie star and rock star with his
Yeah.
band. What is it? Something vampires, something, whatever it is, Hollywood vampires or whatever it is.
Hollywood vampires. Yeah, that's it.
And also somebody that was a close friend of Hunter S. Thompson when he was alive. So much so that him and Benicio del Toro used to hang out at Hunter's house and, obviously did the movie playing him too. So are you really surprised the guy's a little bit wild? Not much at all. Now, again, be that as it may, I'm not giving him like over credit or
he doesn't get a pass.
No, he doesn't get a pass on this. He doesn't negate that he is, a little bit of a loose cannon there, but it's not what's on trial, and it's not surprising. What is kind of surprising is some of the shit that Amber Heard has done that she's admitted
some
to.
of the shit.
I mean, seriously, the taking a shit on his bed. And I can just imagine this too. I could see like they're arguing. She's going crazy. They're both trying to one up each other. Cause I'm sure he's totally twisted too. Right. I'm sure she's totally twisted too. They're probably getting twisted together, having a good old time. And then
haven't slept for days.
Yeah. Things go south. And then you're like, you're getting in almost this argumentative, like one up game, the one upper game of arguments, which we've all been in with crazy people. And I can just imagine this is her winning. This is her like taking a bow afterwards, but literally like taking a nice, and I'd like to think it's an explosive like diarrhea type shit. You know what I mean? Like you've been
like a drug fueled, booze induced, crazy, uncontrolled bowel movement.
Yes.
There's like hardly any food in it. It's just all liquid, and you haven't eaten in days.
It smells like death. It smells like the opposite of health, right? But I can imagine while she's doing it, like squatting over the bed, like a sumo wrestler, like that stance with your hands on your knees and shit. You know what I mean? And like staring at Johnny, like, look at me. You see what I'm doing here? I'm the queen. just being totally rager. I can totally see that. But I mean, that was probably one of the more comical things that came out of this trial. But what I was saying, dude, like who the fuck, famous or otherwise, wants to air out this kind of dirty laundry for the entire, not just country, the entire world to see and digest and make fun of? And again, take this away with them, because when you think about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard moving forward 5 years in the future, you know exactly what's going to happen. A lot of the thoughts that come to a lot of people's minds right out of the gate is going to be, clips and episodes from this trial, which does not paint them either in the best light.
I have a question. So I know you've done a little bit of research, and this is for anyone that doesn't quite know, this is a libel trial, which means that someone has lied or allegedly lied that has been written down and published through some sort of media, whether it be internet, website, or whether it be a book or a magazine. And so someone has definitely done that. That's what libel is, right? If you're just saying shit, then it's defamation, just the same. But it's not libel at that point. It's slander, right? So this is like a written, recorded media that has been done. But I don't even know who's the plaintiff, who's the defendant, what's the allegations of the libel case. Like I have no details on the technicalities of this case.
I will bring a little bit of that to your attention. Now, you did say you had a question, by the way, so I want to remind you of that. But he is the plaintiff. He is suing her.
That was my question. Sorry. I was going to ask if you knew those details.
Okay. Because I got a question for you. Then you started explaining it, and I was like, what's his question? But yeah, no, if that's the question, that totally makes sense. He is the plaintiff. He is suing her for defamation. She is countersuing for twice the amount, because he's suing her for 50 million. She's suing him for 100 million. So basically, and this is how I see it, which is, again, I don't see how this ends well for anybody. Obviously Depp had to do it because the allegations in her op-ed that didn't, like in 2018, that didn't come out and just name him, but she basically said she wrote an op-ed. Yes, in 2018, and that's what prompted this. I can't remember, but I know she wrote it in 2018. It's in the public domain, and it pretty much said that she was a victim of domestic abuse or physical abuse or something like that. And it's obvious that it was Johnny Depp. Since then, he had lost his partnership with Disney, with Pirates of the Caribbean. He had lost a couple other things. So he's coming to the table here, suing her, saying, hey, she painted me in an incorrect light. It's not only affected my life, it's derailed my life. That's actually literally the verbiage that he's standing on right now. Is like, what she's done was wrongfully accused me and paint me in a light that's not true and has derailed my career. And, I want retribution for that, essentially. Right.
Okay. So she wrote the op-ed for the Washington Post in 2018.
Yeah, just a little publication that some people read. You know what I mean? So yeah, pretty big public forum there for her to do that. And yes, that's how this whole thing started. So, but again, I see why he felt he had to do it, because he's got to try to get his name clean, so to speak. But literally, this trial is just kind of just giving them more and more dirt on each other and more dirt for everybody else to see. It's just,
and honestly, dude, it's a shame that it's public.
Yeah,
I wish they could have this trial in private. It would just save everything. It's just a shame that the judge is allowing this to be public. And I know that you have a public trial, but there's no that shouldn't extend into television. Like, you should say, yeah, it's a public trial. Anyone can watch it. However, we have 100-seat guest capacity in the courtroom at a time, and you can only come in person, no cameras.
Yeah.
And then you can still public, but you're drawing pictures with a fucking sketch artist, and you're fucking trying to take captions of it without airing all this crazy shit out live, essentially, and TMZ fucking fodder and all this shit.
Well, damn well too that if it was Amber Heard and some random publicist, or Amber Heard and just some no-name director or makeup artist, then all of a sudden it's not on TV. It's because Johnny Depp's involved, obviously. You know what I mean? That's why the push is here. But I mean,
well, so I'll a little bit of insight. I do know this much. Johnny Depp's not doing any more Pirates of the Caribbean movies, right?
Yeah, he got kicked off. He's
right. They cut originally the story was Johnny Depp declines any more Pirates of the Caribbean movies, right? But then in this trial, he specifically states that I lost the ability to do the Pirates movies because Disney says I'm an abuser and they're not going to bring me back. Well, when he's under oath, that's what he says. But the original statements were Johnny Depp declines to be the character again. So I'm guessing at this point, they let him make that statement that it's his option to not continue on when it was really their option, and just giving him that opportunity to save face. Right. And so everyone thought at this point, even my family, I was talking to my son and my wife about it. They're like, oh yeah, no, he didn't want to do it anymore. And then my wife's like, well, actually he said in this trial that he did want to do it and they wouldn't let him because of this exact allegations. And I was like, that's probably the source of why he's suing for $15 million. Because how much movie does he make after royalties and everything per Pirates of the Caribbean movie? Probably about that.
Probably close. Close. I mean, geez, that's quite a healthy franchise for him. I mean, what did he do? 3 or 4 movies?
And all of them gross near $1 billion. They're amazing.
The merch and everything too. I mean, I'm sure there's a tiny piece of all of that goes to him, no matter
personally, what. I love it, dude, because ever since he hung out with Hunter S. Thompson for a few years, every single character he's ever done has a little bit of Hunter S. Thompson in him. Yeah. And so did Captain Sparrow. So I love watching those films because it does remind me of Fear and Loathing a little bit. You can hear it in there. But yeah, so that's probably the basis for that. Now we all know, well, I mean, we might not all know, Amber Heard doesn't have that kind of money.
No, and here's what I hear from her side here. Is that now she has lost her role in Aquaman 2 because she was in Aquaman 1. Is that correct?
The latest yesterday that I saw is they have now cut her screen time down to 10 total minutes.
You know what that means? She just has enough time to leave a big, nasty dump on Aquaman's bed. You know what I mean? So there's that.
Yeah, and it's going to be in the water too. So it's going to be drifting in a wave. It's just a wave of diarrhea, methamphetamine shit.
Hey, everybody, tune in. Aquaman 2, Amber Heard gives the best floater of all time and this glorious superhero movie. Well, so there's that. But yeah, I mean, honestly, she was in, what was she in? Was she in Rum Diaries with him?
I'll tell you this. She was in,
I can't remember.
Zombieland.
Was she?
So if you recall, the very first time that the main character, Jesse Eisenberg,
Yeah. That's him.
So he goes back to his apartment, right? And his hot neighbor next door turns into a zombie, right? And he's trying to comfort her.
That's him. That's her, huh?
That's Amber Heard.
I see her right here. Zombieland. Okay. She's in a decent amount of movies since 2004. Friday Night Lights, she's in. Okay. Interesting. There she is. Rum Diaries, 2011. I believe that's when she met Johnny Depp, because Johnny Depp, that's also another Hunter S. Thompson film based off his book.
That poor bastard. You know, he's just wishing he could have a redo on that shit.
Yeah, I mean, again, you had mentioned something pretty key, and I think they outlined this in How I Met Your Mother, right? The hot to crazy
Oh, it's the
ratio.
Barney Stinson hot to crazy fucking diagram.
Yeah.
The hotter they are, the crazier you'll accept, right? But
Totally makes sense.
There's a Dimitri Martin skit, if anyone remembers that comedian.
Oh,
he goes over the hot crazy what is it? I don't know. He goes over the hot crazy diagram, right? And shows how they correlate to each other, right? And then he says, like, the hotter you are, the crazier you are, right? And then he said, but there comes a point when the crazy reaches a certain point that I don't care how hot you are, I don't care about your cat anymore, right? And he puts it mildly because he was, on public television, but that's certainly true, right? With the Barney Stinson hot to crazy diagram, and anyone doesn't know, he breaks that down in season 1.
He sure does. By the way, I just wrapped it up. As the other night, I finished season 9. So I'm moving on now. I need a nice old school funny TV show to unwind to in the evenings. As of now, Bob, just to recap for you, I've done all of 30 Rock, all of Seinfeld, all of How I Met Your Mother, and I'm moving on now to Parks and Rec. That's what I'm doing. So
I've never done Parks and Rec.
Oh my God.
I know. I know.
For a treat, sir. There's 7 seasons of loveliness. You just got to get into it.
I've never done Parks and Rec. I've never done, on a more serious, dramatic tone, I've never done Breaking Bad.
Wow. And you live in New Mexico. This is just
crazy.
Surprising. You got to get in there because honestly, Breaking Bad spins off Better Call Saul, and that's even better in my opinion.
The perennial fucking Golden Globe winning show.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you. Well, I mean, Bob's got his work cut out for him. You need to watch some television, sir.
Luckily, I'm not taking any school this summer, so I can get right in there.
Get in there. Hey, a couple of these lovely leisure suits, TV on, sit in your easy chair. Let's fucking start knocking them out, dude. You know what I mean?
100%.
Anyways, circling back here to the Turd and Johnny Depp story.
Heard the Turd.
Well, here's where we're at right now. And this is what I read earlier today too. Johnny's his team has done their thing, right? He's had psychiatrists out there. He's had all kinds of testimony pretty much saying that Amber Heard has this mental disorder, this behavior disorder. She's crazy. She's a loose cannon. She's violent, blah, 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 blah. Now, next week, Heard's team gets to make their case. So we'll see what happens. As of right now, everybody believes that things are kind of tipping in Depp's favor, but the way it's set up, and this is what I was reading from somebody else in an article that's a lawyer, can't remember who they are exactly, but some kind of famous lawyer, but pretty much saying that it's kind of set up for her to have the advantage because they have the last word, so to speak, since they're going second. So I'm interested to see what kind of nasty shit that she uncovers about Johnny Depp beyond what we already know or can imagine. But I'll tell you what, man, this is not a pleasant, it's not a pleasant experience for them right now, because you would think they both would want to avoid this kind of public execution, so to speak, of their images. But here we are.
Personally, I don't think there's going to be like any huge bombshells on the other side because of the whole discovery thing. The defense already knows what they're going to present in their case. And if it was terrible, they would have already tried to get in front of it on their turn. Right. So, we'll see. I mean, as far as like recordings or crazy shit, I don't think we're going to need any bombshells there, but we are going to get like expert witnesses and doctors and shit now reviewing his mental health and all this other shit, I'm sure.
Well, it shows how much you know, Bob, because I already got a peek behind the curtain of what's going to be a bombshell for you here. But it turns out after Amber Heard took a big shit on Johnny Depp's bed, he actually sucked it up in a straw and then blew it in her face. I mean, it's pretty intense. Yeah.
That's fucking crazy. Oh, okay. Well, I wouldn't put it past anyone. I mean, at this point,
he's all, huh? You think that's badass? He's all,
he's like, I'll fucking snort it and farmer blow it in your face.
Hey, I'm telling you, it's a battle of one-ups, man. And I think, that would really, I wouldn't be able to do that. But maybe somebody like, Ozzy Osbourne or Tommy Lee would go in there and snort the shit or something crazy like that. But, what are you going to do?
Yeah, who knows, man? I don't know. This case is really taking over the news, kind of like Elon is taking over Twitter.
I tell you what, I think it's a good thing. And I like what you did there, Bob. I was actually waiting for it too. I was like, come on, bring us in, transition
bring it home. Bring it home.
slide,
There's one more
slide us
topic.
slide us in, baby. But yeah, this is if anybody doesn't know, Elon is now, it looks like from everything I've seen, Bob, it looks like it's pretty much official now that Elon Musk owns Twitter. And what does that really mean, Bob? Is that he spent a decent amount of money to have, I guess, what does he have, like 12% of the shares or something like that? He's got,
so right now he had like 9.5% of the shares, right? This is why it's a hostile takeover, right? So he had 9% of the shares, and he was going to be a board member with the 9% and have a little bit of say. But then he found out that as a board member of Twitter, there's a rule for board members. They can own no more than 12.5% of Twitter, meaning they can only have like 1/7 of a share or like of a say of what's going to go on. When you probably know there's a dozen board members or whatever the fuck it is now, including Jack Dorsey, right? Yeah. So who's the co-founder and inventor of Twitter, if you guys don't know that. So that's when he was like, whoa, fuck that. That's not enough influence for me putting my, I think it was $4 billion or something worth of investment at that point. He's like, I don't have enough say over this investment. I don't fucking want that. And he's like, you know what? I'll tell you what, this is where it gets interesting. I'm going to make an offer at $54 a share or whatever the fuck number it was, right?
That's about right.
Which isn't the highest that Twitter's ever been. Last year, it was like at $70 a share for a period of time, probably when Donald Trump was still in it, right? Creating a bunch of buzz. But it was at like $45 or something like that when he offered it. So that's it was like a 20% increase of value over what the company was valued at the moment, which means any shareholder at that point would gain 20% on their investment instantly as soon as that deal went through. So the funny thing about publicly traded companies is they have a fiduciary duty to their stockholders to make the best decision for their stockholders' interest and decision and profitability of the company. So because they're publicly traded and FCC regulated and all this shit, right? So because of that, he came in and said, fine, I'm gonna make you an offer you can't refuse, right? So he made the offer high enough to where now if you turn him down, you're not fulfilling your fiduciary duty to the stockholders, and it puts them in a pickle, right? Which is the bottom line, and that's why it's a hostile takeover. Like he's putting their back against the wall, and he's trying to take over this company and put them in a spot to where if they don't do it, it can be considered like stock market manipulation. You know what I mean? Or whatever the fuck guidelines they have to abide by being a publicly traded company with the federal government. So now he's making them this offer, and then he's coming up with the cash. I think he got another investor to partner up with him to bring in some cash, and then he went and got a loan of a bank using his stocks at Tesla with collateral. Bottom line is he came up with like $50-some billion of fucking cash or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah, the total offer is $44 billion.
That's a lot of cheddar.
Quite a chunk of change for sure.
So to break it all down and just kind of how he went about it was why. Now the big question isn't the how he went about it. He's worth like $200 billion. We get it. He's the richest dude in the world. He can probably finagle up that money. The question is why? Why did he go about it? And that's what's got everyone in a tizzy. Like, well, at least politically, everyone is in a tizzy, especially the far left.
Oh, they don't like this at all. And I'll tell you what, and just in case anybody doesn't know here, what is his motivation? This is not really, I would say, a holistic type of motivation. Altruistic is maybe even a better word. That he says that he wants to bring free speech back to Twitter. Great. He's a huge free speech advocate. But that's not resonating well that for a lot of people that like Twitter the way it is, the status quo of Twitter. And right now there's a lot of censorship, and there's a lot of people that are banned, and the majority of them are far right people, or I dare tread and say maybe there's even a lot of people that are banned from Twitter that just don't agree with the left. So there's that. So I think that's kind of his motivation. And he's kind of been looped into being a far right person by the left.
Which
And
I don't agree with.
I don't agree with it either, but yet here we are, and they don't like Elon now, and I get it too. There's historically on the left, there's been a hatred of very, very rich people for some odd reason, regardless if they've earned their money or not. They just don't like rich people at all, and they want to make them bleed their money and pay their quote unquote fair share all the time to pay for their programs that they think are fantastic, but
and expensive.
Yes, very expensive. But I really feel this, and we talked about this earlier too. I feel this move by Elon is like, look, I love Twitter. I use it to manipulate my own stock. I mean, legally, we'll just say, you know what I mean? Allegedly, he's used it to give massive value to certain cryptocurrencies or devalue them. Kind of, I think he's had fun playing with this because every time Elon Musk tweets something, people react, and people react in a very big way. And there's been lots of consequences financially to their reactions. But he's been kind of toyed with and screwed with a little bit by the censorship against him and other people on Twitter. And I think this is his opportunity to say, hey, you know what? Look, I'm not only going to remove the barriers that I feel and the hurdles that I'm feeling on what I want to do on Twitter, but I also do realize that there's plenty of other people that have been silenced by Twitter. I have the money to stop this, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change things with all the money that I have and see if I can make things better for myself. And on the way there, if I happen to make things better for other people, so be it. I like that too as a side effect. That's kind of where I'm at here, and I think people really don't like that. Especially, there's a lot of people that maybe have something to lose to not have so many voices silenced. Because let's face it too, I don't really agree at all with censorship, really, of any kind. If people are saying stupid shit, and we've talked about this before on the show, let them say stupid shit. The way you combat people saying stupid shit is by more information to kind of bring to light why that's stupid shit, not necessarily just muzzling them and putting them like behind closed doors. Ask them questions, present them with additional information, and maybe see if that can sway their opinion or not. But hey, you can't silence people that have a difference of opinion. That's how dictatorships start. You know what I mean? So I think that's a slippery slope right there. So I like what he's doing, but I do think it's pretty funny that there is a lot of people, famous musicians, movie stars, politicians that are in complete uproar. And like you said, have their panties in a little bit of a tizzy over what he's doing. Cause they gain to lose a lot of shit here and a lot of credibility, I think too.
I don't think, because I'm not a fascist, I don't think that private business needs to be in the business of penalizing U.S. citizens for illegal or potentially illegal activity. I think that's kind of the definition of fascism, is for the government to utilize private businesses and force them to be doing acts for the government, right? So what I do think is, I agree with Elon. I think Twitter should be free. Bring Trump back. I don't care. Let him say whatever the fuck he wants to say. However, if it becomes hate speech and you start committing fucking crimes on Twitter, that's great. Do it. Do what you got to do, but consequences for every action, right? So when the FBI comes a knocking and they take your ass away and you can no longer tweet because you're in jail for fucking inciting a riot and shit, or perpetuating fucking hate violence to where someone fucking took your Twitter account and the hate speech and rhetoric that you did, and they specifically said, well, Donald Trump said I should do this, so I went and committed this crime. Okay, well, now you may be civilly liable for that because you literally helped create this fucking thing. All right, so there's potential like legal issues, all of that, but is it Twitter's responsibility? I don't think so. Why is it their responsibility for what a user does? Specifically, in the mid-90s, there was an act for social media that said social media owners are not responsible for their users' rhetoric online. And
No.
that stands to this day. And I've heard the left say that we need to revise that law and 100% revise it, make it current, make it more relevant, but get rid of it. If it was needed then, it's probably still needed now. Should we change the language or adjust things to more accurately represent modern times? Yes, we should probably do that to almost every single law in the books every decade and make sure that it's relevant. But I just don't see how in the world it's Twitter's responsibility to do that or face any repercussions. Now, if the FBI wants to use this to chase down hate crimes and all this other shit, then by all means, do it.
Yeah, and people should realize too that if you're going to say a bunch of stupid shit on Twitter, people will see this. It can be tracked. You know what I mean? It's not like there are no repercussions for saying stupid, outrageous hate shit on social media. There should be, and that should be able to be used to get you if needed. But to silence it just for the sake of it hurting other people's ears or offending them or not going along with your rhetoric or your views, then it doesn't make any sense.
Because what happens when the pendulum swings, Scott? And it goes the other way. And all of a sudden it's all the leftists that start getting silenced.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't silence the other side because you have to act with a sense of empathy, right? Because what if that was you being silenced? And that's just the way that needs to be. It's not companies' job to govern. It's just not. It's the government's job to govern. And if they want to have an agency, then there's agency law that needs to govern. And if they want to have transform the DEA to the social media police for all I care. I don't care. They're not doing much now. Nothing productive, right? So make them fucking go take care of Twitter and all that shit. But don't leave it up to to Twitter itself. I think that's ridiculous. Well, so FYI, while we were going over this, I did pull up the top 10 Twitter accounts by users. So I want to run down the list of the top 10.
Please do. Please do.
Number 10, Ellen Degeneres.
Wow.
77.7 million followers.
I didn't even think she was that relevant anymore. Good for her.
And I don't even know who this is, but she's probably a modeler, so I don't know. But Narendra Modi.
No idea who that is. Yeah.
78.2 million.
Wow.
Lady Gaga, 84.5 million. Ariana Grande, until she deleted her account. She no longer has a Twitter account, but she did have 85.3 million.
Wait a minute. Let's back up just a little bit here. When did she delete it? With the news of Elon?
Well, I would imagine she did it in 2021.
Interesting.
Let's see. When did Ariana Grande delete?
This is getting juicy, Bob. That's what this
I know.
is.
Delete her Twitter. Just funny that we're even looking this up. Friday, December 24th, 2021. So this predates a lot of all this shit.
Okay, so
that was number 5. Or no, that was number 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. That was she was number 8. Okay, so number 7, Elon Musk.
Oh, okay.
87.2 million. Number 6, T Swizzle. Taylor Swift in the house. 90.3 million.
That makes sense.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Wow.
99.4 million, coming in at number 4. Number 3 is a huge surprise.
Come on.
Katy Perry.
Wow. Interesting.
How about that? 108.9 million. Number 2, it's one of my faves, my boy, Justin Bieber.
Wow. Number 2. Now, drum roll here. Who is
4 million?
Give me a drum roll here. Who is the number 1 Twitter account, the most followers in the world on Twitter? Where are we at, baby?
Do you have a guess?
No, I have no idea. Donald Trump?
Well, until he deleted this account, maybe. I don't think so, but I'll pull that number here in a second. Quite the opposite.
Hillary Clinton?
No, close. Barack Obama.
Wow. Okay.
Barack Obama with 134.4 million users is the number 1 Twitter account. And it's not even close. I mean, he's got to be like tens of millions. So everyone loves Barack Obama. I don't know if I follow him or not, but that's the top 10 Twitter users. So Elon at there at number 7. And I just have a feeling that Trump would have been there. I'm going to go ahead and ask the question, but what do you think about that list?
It's pretty impressive here. I mean, you can tell some of them are time stamped, if you ask me. Like some of these people have not been relevant very recently, but they were very relevant when Twitter was like at its peak of popularity. So I think that makes sense. Like people like Katy Perry. So interesting though. Even even Barack Obama too.
So it looks like Trump had. Where was it? I just had it.
The suspense is killing me, Bob. I don't like that.
Sorry.
This is what we call dead air, folks.
I lost it for a second. Like I just saw it and I clicked on it and then it went away.
That's all right.
So anyway, I know he had like 80 million or something.
Well, tune in next time, folks, as we tell you how many Twitter followers Donald Trump had when his account was active.
I know how many he's got on like Truth Social. It's like 18.
Well, let me ask you this here. Speaking of Donald Trump here, he has said publicly very recently too that he is not going to get back on Twitter.
No, because he has his own platform.
That's right. What is that called again?
Truth Social.
Truth Social. How cute
Not to
is
be
that?
confused with the Pillow Guy social media network called Frank.
Frank Social. Oh, like another word for being truthful.
Yeah.
Let's be frank here. Truth Social. Well, I better start my account then because God knows that I need to get on there. Oh, look, it's the first thing that comes up when you type truth. Can I download Truth Social? There's currently a link to download the app on the Apple Store. Wow, I'm actually kind of surprised that it's on like a downloadable like the Apple Store for Apple and
download it,
Google
dude.
I don't think I need to. I don't even like Twitter. Is it very similar to like Twitter?
I'm guessing it's Twitter's competitor, which is funny that Elon's buying it now. So now he's going head to head with Elon.
Interesting. I got Elon winning that one all day.
I did too. I got Elon winning most things all day.
Yeah,
I don't think he gets enough credit. Really,
I do invest in the guy, and then that's no punk bitch. You know what I mean? So there's that. Well, interesting to see, man. I mean, it's definitely populated a lot of the newspapers and headlines here over the past week or so, and I think it'll continue to do so as he makes changes. It looks like there's a lot of people that are going to be losing their jobs soon, but you know what? Maybe these people don't need jobs, or maybe they're making too much money to begin with. So, there's a lot of people that their job literally is to censor people. And like you and I were just saying, I don't think that makes a lot of sense. Hey, say what you want. You're going to have repercussions and consequences for what you say and what you do regardless. I don't think you need to take the extra step and silence people before they can make a fool out of themselves. Do you know what I mean? Let them do it.
I do. And I can't find the exact number like live on air, but from my memory, which is decent, I want to say he did have like 80 million followers when he was on Twitter, which would have put him on this top 10 list.
Hey, let's just face it. As much as polarizing as the man is, Donnie, he always is good at what he does. Okay. You know what I mean? The man doesn't step into something and is 11th best. He's definitely in the top 10, Bob. Give him some fucking credit here. This is Donnie Trump here. Donnie J. Trump. That choked you up a little bit. It looks like you were about to cry.
A little bit. You have much more faith in the man than me.
Well, Bob, hey, I don't know what. I think we're about out of time, and I tried to like budget in for my my drink break and things like that. I think we're about there, bud.
Well, what a fun show! What a great drink! What a great amount of followers that we have. The Stiffies are tremendous. I don't even know. It's just been great. The last 2 years of bringing this show and evolving this show. I'm really happy where we're at right now.
I agree 100%, man. So as always, it's great to see you again too. And the hair looks phenomenal today. I don't know what kind of, if you're using like a golden brush or something like that, but I need some recs after the show about how you did that, because it is envious, my friend. So good on you guys. Thank you again for joining me and Bob as we chat and have some cocktails with you. It's always fun. Don't forget to check us out on YouTube, like and subscribe, rate us on the podcast platforms. There is a chance that we might not be doing a show next week because it's Mother's Day on Sunday. So we might take that day off, but we will be back soon. And until then, guys, we love you all. Take care.
See ya. Bye.